What's up, everyone? Welcome to Redskins Talk TV. This is your host, Dre. I'm going to make this very candid, very blunt video. And for those that might get offended in the Redskins nations, I don't give a fuck. But this is just my opinion, and I stand by this. First and foremost, I'm a big RG3 fan. I support him 110%. Like I said, with the game and the way things are going, I'm frustrated like everybody else. However, the one thing that I'm not going to do is look at the three phases of the football game, special teams, defense, and offense, and say that number 10, who only plays on offense, is a sole person responsible for each loss. Because when I look at each game from his rookie season to present date, any loss can be attributed to a number of different factors. But we get a lot of motherfuckers like guys like Ross W. And I'm going to say names, just a couple. Kevin Brasington, who, by the way, fuck you. Because when you made that one racist comment, calling me colored boy, it doesn't really affect me. But all the same, I'm going to share a fuck you and a middle finger all the same. So when I'm looking at a game, I don't just look at it from an armchair quarterback's point of view and just say that everything is a fault of the quarterback. I'm not saying that RG3 is not without fault. Sometimes he does hold on to the ball too long. Sometimes he doesn't tuck and run and use that instinct as a mobile quarterback like he was as a rookie. But what I'm not going to do is blame him when other team is scoring on us and number 10 isn't on defense covering receivers, rushing the quarterback. But motherfuckers want to blame RG3 simply because they want him to put everything on his shoulders, offense, defense, special teams. What kind of stupid shit is that? You don't see Tom Brady doing that. When you look at teams like Tom Brady on the Patriots and Peyton Manning, and no one said anything about Peyton Manning because he lost miserably to the Rams. But again, the Rams aren't a terrible team. They don't have that dynamic record like you would look at with the Seattle Seahawks or the Arizona Cardinals. But you're looking at a team that came in as an underdog and blew Denver out the water because they were hungry. And that's what happened with us and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Despite their record, they've been competitive each and every game this season. And they came to play. But that's not the fault entirely of RG3. When you look at that first interception, it was a quick read to the primary receiver, Pierre Garçon, and the defender got under the route, tipped the ball, and it went into the other defender's hand. No one would have said shit if the play had gone through the way it was supposed to, and Garçon got that catch and ran it for 12, 15 yards, maybe even the touchdown. No one would have said shit. But a tip ball, and you can see the same thing because it happened with Peyton Manning. So, but people want to blame RG3. On the second one, because he was scrambling and he threw it to Niles Paul. Niles Paul bobbled it, tipped it right up into the defender's hand. But they blame RG3. When you look at the sacks, you got offensive linemen getting pushed into the lap of the quarterback. You have defenders that are almost immediately on the quarterback at the snap of the ball. But that's all RG3's fault. Now, in some of those cases, like I said, when shit starts to break down, tucking the ball and run is the best thing. But you saw when he tried to scramble, and our blockers weren't able to sustain, and they were able to intercept him. But the offensive line haven't made that commitment to keep number 10's jersey clean. But they still want to blame RG3. When you look at the fact that Mike Evans, number 13, a rookie, torched the defense for 209 yards. And you look at the corners that were supposed to cover him playing 7, 10 yards off the line of scrimmage instead of jamming him. Yeah, he's a big receiver, 6'5", 235. But even me at 190 pounds, getting up on the line of scrimmage and at least putting my presence in there, getting an arm out to jam him, will slow him down. Bashaud Breeland did not do that. When you look at the blown plays that allow for him to make those 2 long catches and touchdowns, motherfuckers want to blame RG3. What kind of stupid shit is that? And it's not just guys like Ross and Kevin Brasington who are blaming, because there's a lot of people that want to blame RG3 and they want to call for some shit like, let's go ahead and bring in Colt McCoy. Look, Colt McCoy came in and he did the damn thing, but he didn't do it alone when he played against Dallas. The defense shut Dallas down. McCoy had some good plays, but the defense were the stars of the show. And that's what stopped Tony Romo in game. We just so happened to get the points that mattered the most, yes. But the defense made sure that Tony Romo and the Cowboys did not outpoint us. When you look at the game against the Minnesota Vikings, Teddy Bridgewater, a rookie quarterback, came in there and looked like he was a veteran quarterback and torched that defense. RG3 was able to get the lead, and when the defense gave it up and let the other team score, RG3 got it back. You can't keep putting it on RG3's shoulder. We have a running game that we haven't been able to get Alfred Morris at 100 yards. He barely got 20 carries this game, the most carries he's had all season for a game. But motherfuckers want to blame RG3. Once again, sitting at the couch and being an armchair quarterback like some of these silly motherfuckers are, you have absolutely no clue. At the snap of the ball, you're only looking at what RG3 is doing. You're not looking at what the offensive linemen are doing the moment that they engage the defenders, whether it's a defensive lineman or a linebacker. You're not looking at on those passing plays whether the fullback and or running back is going to stay in and actually make the block to keep the defender from coming in at RG3. You don't see what happens when the receiver goes off the screen on those passing plays, how the safeties are playing deep to stop that deep play. You're not looking at how the corners for the opposing teams generally stay up on the line of scrimmage and jam our receivers. And no matter how fast Deshaun Jackson is, keep in mind he's only about 170, 175 pounds soaking wet. So getting jammed at the line of scrimmage, he's got to work a lot harder when those aggressive cornerbacks get their hands on him within that first 5 yards. Pierre Garçon hasn't made much of an impact. Jordan Reed wasn't being utilized in the passing game to expose the middle of the field, but everyone wants to blame that on RG3. He gets the calls coming in from the sidelines. It's up to him to get the ball out of his hand, yes. But it's up to the other 10 guys that are on the offense around him to help shit happen. But you still want to blame RG3. This is the shit that silly motherfuckers talk about. They want to blame him. When RG3 is sitting on the sideline while our defense is on there, and the defense is getting torched by rookie quarterbacks, rookie wide receivers, motherfuckers want to blame RG3. Now, this isn't some tirade or rant because I'm praising and putting RG3 on high. I'm keeping it in proper perspective, because if Colt McCoy had been under center, had Kirk Cousins been under center, and remember, Kevin Brasington, I've had several conversations and exchanges back and forth with him where he was calling for Kirk Cousins. And when he started to sink the shit out of everything, this motherfucker had nothing to say. So for me, I'm sticking to the quarterback, because when we brought him into the league and he was winning, no one says shit. And I understand this is a what have you done for me now league. But how about some fucking loyalty? How about that? And for all these motherfuckers that are saying, well, I've been a Redskins fan for 40, 50 years, don't act like this is the first fucking time that the team has been bad. Because at the end of the era for Joe Gibbs, .1, we have Richie Pettibone as our head coach. And he went 3-13. So we've seen our ups and downs since Joe Gibbs first retired. And we've had some good seasons and some shitty seasons. So don't try to make it seem like all of a sudden RG3 is the main reason why you want to stop being a Redskins fan. If that's the case, you have no commitment to the team. Jump the fuck off and go over to the Cowboys, because we certainly don't need you, and I have no respect for you. I'm keeping this shit real. I'm trying to give Redskins fans the benefit of the doubt, but some of you motherfuckers say some of the dumbest shit. I've been a Redskins fan since 1983 when they won Super Bowl 15, and my loyalty for them has not wavered. I get frustrated at the losses, but I stand strong. We can go 0-16, and guess what? I'm going to don my burgundy and gold. I bleed burgundy and gold because I believe in it. And living here in South Texas, I hold to that commitment. That's how faithful I am to my Redskins. But some of you motherfuckers don't have any loyalty at all. Saying the stupid shit that I'm seeing on the forums and everything, I have no respect for that. I have my YouTube channel and I analyze the game from every aspect so I can have a better understanding of what it takes to win. But also understand that we're not always going to win. And for those that want to score on RG3 for the press conference and the comments that he said yesterday, listen. I don't expect RG3 to get up on the podium and take blame for something that the defense did wrong. I don't want a quarterback like that. And remember, when you're looking at a game and you see Tom Brady on the sidelines ranting and putting one of his wide receivers or another player on blast, you may not necessarily hear what's happening, but you can tell from the body language because you know a cameraman's going to get that. So he doesn't have to get at the podium and say anything. But the world has already seen how he's getting in the face of one of his players. Isn't that the same? So all of a sudden, RG3, he's a cancer in the locker room simply because he doesn't want to take blame for everything that goes wrong with the team. Like I said, he's not clean with everything. But I don't want a quarterback that's going to go up there after a defense can't keep the lead and the quarterback say, I need to take blame for everything that happens with this team. Fuck that. Because if I was a quarterback, I wouldn't do that either. And when you look at the Chicago Bears, I know from personal experience because with the center, Roberto Garza, I used to work for his sister. And I have an understanding because he said that Jay Cutler, he tends to alienate himself from some of the team members. But on the field, they try to rally around him. Now, their record this season may not show for it, but when they get on the field, they work hard. Whatever differences they have with the quarterback, once they get on the field, they put that shit to the side. So some of these motherfuckers who really believe that all of a sudden players on this team are not going to rally once they get on the field, keep in mind, these motherfuckers get paid millions. You set your differences aside because a dollar bill tells you to. But for you to say that Robert Griffin III is a root cause of all the problems, when you look at the fact that we keep abandoning the run, Alfred Morris still hasn't got 100 yards rushing. When you look at the fact that we could be 3-19 and suddenly they want to call some bullshit screenplay and the play calling. When you look at Jim Haslett having blitzed Tony Romo all game long, and then all of a sudden with Teddy Bridgewater, we don't blitz that much at all. Why is that RG3's fault? I'm going to leave it at that because this shit is ridiculous. Peace, motherfuckers.